In this video, I want to show you exactly how we target real estate investors using Facebook ads. Hey guys, if you haven't met me yet, my name is Emmanuel. I am the founder, kind of chief talking head guy over here at Square One Group. Really, our mission is to help you identify your expertise and then help you scale your real estate business using systems. That said, we really make these videos to help try to bring in some new business for you. So if and when you do decide to scale, you keep us in mind because we would love to work with you. Now, today I want to jam on with you about acquiring real estate investor leads using Facebook ads. Now, the reason you might be interested in acquiring real estate investor contacts is probably because you're one of the following. Maybe you're currently wholesaling property, or maybe your primary focus is acquiring distressed homeowners and their listings, or maybe you're just acquiring a bunch of listings that are better suited for investors than they are like B2C, like actual homeowners. Well, the good news is I personally dabble in a little bit of real estate investing myself, and I'm going to show you my playbook on how I find investors. But in order for me to help you understand the strategy just a little bit more, I'm going to have to give you a little bit of context and a little bit of a mindset shift. All right, first let's talk context. Now, I have to emphasize the importance of knowing your audience. And I actually want to take us out of real estate for a minute. Use the analogy of maybe being a DJ performing at a party. Now, the job of the DJ is to make sure that they keep the party going and the energy up and they keep everyone dancing. So it's really important for this DJ to understand the musical's tastes and the mood and preferences of the crowd he or she is playing to. Now, imagine, for example, this DJ goes up and starts playing hip hop to like a heavy metal crowd, or maybe country music to like a heavy EDM themed like audience. Well, the people there attending that party, they're likely not going to appreciate this DJ's performance because this DJ is failing to connect with that audience. Now let's bring this back to the marketing strategy, particularly towards real estate investors. If you don't know their language, it will be far more difficult for you to deliver a message that will actually resonate with them. That's why it's super important to understand your audience, their interests, their expectations, the vocabulary, the lingo, their goals, their frustrations, the whole nine, and then deliver a message that will resonate with them and make them want to interact with you. Okay, context out of the way. Now let's talk a little bit about mindset. The wrong mindset to have when you're looking for real estate investors is to have one property, throw up an ad for this one property, and try to acquire an investor for this one property. And this is completely wrong because whenever you have a new property, you're essentially paying to acquire new motivated investor leads every single time you want to try to sell. Instead, the better strategy is to create a database of investors. So whenever you acquire new properties, you don't have to keep repaying to acquire new leads for real estate investors, but instead now you have a list of investors that you can simply just email this property that you just acquired to try to get it sold as quickly as possible. All right, now let's talk about the actual lead gen process. If I wanted to generate investor leads for my listing, it's one thing to just post up a property or a picture of a property, and it's another thing to actually make sure that the copy, the actual ad, the messaging, the words is directly catered toward the target audience, and in this particular case, investors. And if I'm targeting investors, then it's really important that I understand what they're exactly looking for when they're looking for properties to invest in. And it really boils down to three main big ideas. Location is probably the most important criteria when it comes to investors looking at property. They're constantly looking for desirable neighborhoods with low crime rates, great school districts, and they also want to be maybe near hospitals or public transportation hubs. In the listing that we want to feature and that we want to try to capture this investor from, we need to be highlighting the main features that are kind of surrounding this property. All right, big idea or big point number two is the property's condition. Now, in my experience, there's really two types of investors. The first ones being the ones that are looking for dilapidated properties that they can just completely tear down and rebuild from ground up. And the second ones are the ones that are looking to improve existing structures with minimal repairs and maintenance. And in this case, the most important metric that they're probably looking for is that ARV, or after repair value. And then point number three is the potential income. Now, if this is a fix and flip, what is the projected revenue or ROI? And if this is a fix and hold, what does the monthly revenue look like from a rent standpoint for this property and kind of the neighboring areas? Now, with regards to the actual strategy of acquiring real estate investors using Facebook ads, you have to understand that there's really two motivations, two big ideas, two big things that direct or drive a lead to be captured. Number one is information, and number two is opportunity. All right, let's talk information first real quick because this one's an easy one. Investors are always looking for either creative ways to finance acquisitions or maybe use OPM, which stands for other people's money. They pay attention to current market trends and market conditions because they want to be investing in properties that will appreciate in value over time. And lastly, they're also looking at, potentially up and coming neighborhoods or areas for expected growth and gentrification or maybe development in the future. So the easy way to capture this type of investor lead is really based off of the information that we can curate. So this could be things like creating a lead magnet about a neighborhood, or maybe a purchasing strategy, or maybe an investment guide, or maybe even an investment checklist. Now, there's a number of different ideas or ways you can go here, but the premise here is think about what we can provide as a piece of value that a potential investor would want to know to help improve their business and then create that asset. By the way, I did a really great video on how to create lead magnets using ChatGPT and Canva, and I'm going to leave the card up here. Just go ahead and click it after you watch this video. Now, the second way to acquire investors or real estate investors using Facebook ads is by presenting opportunity. So going back to what I mentioned earlier about understanding audience and understanding what investors are looking for in a property, it really boils down to location, property condition, and potential income. So when I have a potential investment opportunity in the form of a property, then I'll typically just throw up an ad for the property. But I want to make sure that the ad copy, which is the most important part of the ad itself, caters to these 3 points. So let me show you a quick example. This property was captured using some Facebook ads to try to bring in some homeowner leads. I'm not going to go into the specifics about this property just because I want to be respectful of the owner, and I don't want to give you the details of the backstory of the property. But the premise of this is it's a 9-bedroom, 4-bathroom, 4 living room, 3 kitchen, multi-family property that's in really, really poor condition and is in need of some massive rehab. Now, this actual property doesn't look like a property that I'm actually interested in investing in, but I'm sure there is an investor out there that would look at this and be like, hey, I want that. So essentially what I'll do is I'll create an ad with a picture of this property, just like you would with any other property listing ad that you post on Facebook, but I'm going to make sure that the content is relevant to the audience. And here's an example of some copy, or the ad copy I would use for marketing this property. Now, go ahead and take a screenshot of this, use this as your template, but this is kind of the framework or the bare bones layout or strategy that I would use for creating this content. And it goes like this: looking to invest in location, to buy and hold even if you don't have a lot of money down. Well, check out this new listing that just hit the market. It's a 9-bedroom, 4-bath, multi-unit, renovation needed. Average comps in the area sold for $65,000. Average rental income is $800. If the details above match the type of investment property you're looking for, click below to learn more. Now, one last important thing to note with regards to creating these ads, and that is we're going to want to make sure that we're using Facebook lead ads. So when the potential investor clicks on this ad, we'll be able to capture their information instantly. And then from there, we'll be able to reach out to the investor, build rapport, and either get this listing sold or keep this investor inside of our database so that the next time we acquire a new listing, we'll be able to, promote it to someone that we've already acquired to potentially purchase, maybe the next listing as quickly as possible. Also, last thing to note on this one, that is the landing page should be, or when they click on the learn more, it should go to a landing page with kind of the basic details about the property. Anyway, we jam on more about this inside of our free Facebook group, leaving the link in the description below. And if you enjoyed this, check out this video here.